Toby Buckland, good to meet you.
Nice to
Thank
see
you
you,
very much
John.
for joining us. Is this your first time in Cumbria?
Not my first time in Cumbria, but first time in Whitehead. I'm amazed I haven't been here before. It's a treasure of place. It's
Fantastic,
beautiful.
isn't it? See? It's a jewel.
Yeah, it is.
a jewel.
I used to work for Granada Television for years, and we did a lot of gardening programs, and we'd always push up into the lakes or Lakeland for rhododendron gardens. I've seen lots of beautiful places, but we never went out into the coast. I guess because everyone had to get back to Key Street in Manchester.
It's very true. Yeah, we are kind of off the beaten track slightly, I would say, but no, it's good that you're here. And Chelsea Flower Show,
Yes.
huge.
Yeah.
You're involved in it again this year.
Well, the flower show, yeah, I've been involved in it for a long time. When you think about it, it's the showcase with the British horticulture industry. It's something to be really proud of. It's a £10 billion industry, and although obviously it's people like me and lots of proper celebs mincing around and coughing champagne, actually it is about the business.
Sure.
UK PLC and how we project to the rest of the world. So I'm immensely proud of it. And yes, I film there and give tips and hopefully make it relevant for viewers here.
Sure. Do you think it is does it represent gardening? Does it represent gardening as it is now, or is it just one of those? Is it a bit like when we do foodie things? We kind of try and make it look flamboyant and over the top when actually fact.
There's an element of that. There's an element, but the thing that's so wonderful about it is there's no restrictions on it. So where you might see gardens in other shows, where the content of them is lovely, but the boundary they ran out of money. That doesn't happen in Chelsea. They got enough to make it look a complete picture. So when you look at the gardens, you see, you just see the vision of the designer really as they wanted it. It's a perfect representation of what they could do, because every plant is bought in triplicate, so they can always pick the best ones. It is wonderful, but that's the half of it, because a lot of the other half is the nurseries, and what they display there is really the best of not just British, but the best of global garden.
And am I right in thinking that you've got a nursery at the moment?
I've got a nursery, yeah. Toby got to nurseries. That's what my day job basically. I've always liked the trade. It's partly because gardening, I just say, there's food. There's food, isn't there? But there's food and people, and that's what makes it fun. And gardening's exactly the same. You've got plants, and when you put them together with people, that's the talking point. That's why you do it. That's why you grow things to share, or grow things, frankly, just to show off.
And I think as well, you've just touched on it. You said you grow. I obviously cook things to share, and you grow things to share. But it's weird as well. The two kind of link, because people's taste is totally different as well. What somebody loves, another person's going to go, what on earth is all that about? But so, what's your? Are you a? This is going to sound really without sounding camp. Are you a flower man? Vegetable or vegetable?
Well, I'm a bit of both really. The thing I like is practical gardening. I just like doing it. I mean, it's sort of funny. I suppose it must be. To go back to the food analogy, when you're cooking for people, you cook a wide range of things. It's avant-garde, and there's a certain element you want to put on a show, make it really special. And I'm like that when I'm creating planters or doing gardens or designing. When I'm at home, same with cooking, and I like a few beans on toast with a bit of Worcester sauce. It's sort of like it's like a guilty pleasure. And actually, when I'm gardening, my favourite thing is potting. I love potting. I can potting benches at work. I just like the feel of the compost, the smell of the plants, a bit of cricket on the radio. I mean, you can't go wrong.
But it's the passion that you've got, because it's what you do. It's the same with me. I'm very often asked, you must cook some wonderful things at home. Well, actually, do you know what? I do occasionally, but I love the simple, because I do it all day, every day. Just a lovely, simple, whatever it happens to be, a roast chicken, simple roast chicken, and that's me. I'm a happy man. So, and I get it. And I've grown up. We're a farming family originally. So for me to go from farming to chefing, it was quite a. So I grew up with.
Crossed the line there, John.
Yeah, I did. Well, it was kind of. But my dad did kind of nudge my mum.
Hello.
What's going? But so I grew up. We grew our own vegetables. You obviously had eggs and everything. So for me, growing up in that environment, my granddad had an orchard, so there was damsons and apples. He grew his own peas, and one of the lasting memories I've got of my granddad was sitting at the kitchen table podding peas and broad beans and slicing runner beans and all the rest of it. So I was lucky.
The wealth of the land.
Yeah, I was very lucky, and I know that now. I didn't realise at the time. I found it a bit of a...
It's all bucking the trend.
Yeah.
I mean, I always think that about gardening. I grew up knowing about vegetables and knowing about gardening. It's kind of a second nature thing. It's only in later lives that I've analysed it. Oh, I actually know quite a bit about this.
Sure.
But because the lack of those skills are not normal. But in a way, that's where I think we should be, both in terms of gardening and food. I don't think it should be something that children say it's their hobby. I think they should just simply know about it. Well, they shouldn't have to list it as something that's part of their knowledge base. It shouldn't even be questions like manners. They should know them.
Yeah. Well, and the link you've touched on this as well. The link with food and growing and producing. I think we spoke about this earlier on with somebody else. It's I think children, school-aged children, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. Have lost that. They assume everything's supermarket packet, and like I said, I was lucky because I grew up in that environment, so I saw things grow. But I think the kids today, the children, I don't, is it the school? Do they get I know some schools do. Do they get a nice plot and they start growing their own things? I know it's not so easy at home and all the rest of it, and it's the same with cooking. At some point somebody needs to teach them and show them how it's done, because otherwise they're just going to think that everything comes out of a packet. Yeah. But what joy there is as well if you plant those seeds and then you see it come and then you see it grow.
In this day and age, when you think about it, you can't fix your own car, can you? You wouldn't have to start not one car. You can. It's no longer work on your house, really. You don't need a certificate to say the plastering's been done right. Whereas at least in your garden you can sort of build a shed, and it might be a carbuncle, but you've made it, and it's not against some EU regulation. You know what I mean? So I think it's, and the same with food. I mean, you can make a hash, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And it's the same. And that's all right. And I think these things, in a world where it's completely increasingly in front of a computer screen. I mean, I've got kids and they love screens. Oh, crikey, anything that gets them out into the real world and with real sensations is so valuable.
And obviously, you've just said you've got kids. Are they green fingered, or are they kind of what? Stay away?
No, he wants to do what their old dad did, honestly. But the thing is, one thing I would say, and this is about gardening, is one of those trades. I'm a tradesman. I'm proud to be a tradesman, and my kids work for me, and they might not like it, but there's one thing lesson that all kids should have, is that they need to know how to work, put a day in, and they earn their own money. So that's the one thing I would say, that for them, they have this understanding of gardening more than they ever know. It rubs off on them, and I don't want them to say, I'm gardening for this. They were what is it, Minecraft, or all these games. That's what they say they love. But actually, what's drip feeding into them is the knowledge of how to do this, and put in a shift at work, which is really important.